Hi, my name's Simon, and today we're going to play a level of Dungeon Defenders 2, free to play on Xbox One, PS4 and PC via Steam, and you really don't need to spend a penny to progress and enjoy this game. Right, so we've arrived at the market, and here is the grumpy old git and his cart that we've got to protect. We can swap heroes on the fly. We've got 4 heroes in our deck we can swap between, and during this build phase we can swap out heroes from our bigger deck if we wish to. So build phase engaged. We can see that the lane wisps and showing where the enemies are going to come from and their direction of travel towards that cart. I made a mistake there. I didn't put the base close enough to the target area. I've spent about 2,500 hours in this game since 2014, but I haven't played for many months now, so you'll see me make a few mistakes and not be sure of what I'm doing at times. But really, my heroes by this late stage in my progress are way overpowered for this difficulty tier, but I just wanted to show you and razz through a quick level. Gonna switch to this version of a monk that I have. He specialises in a lightning tower, lightning strikes aura. Placing that, trying to match up the edge of that with the edge of the other defence perimeter there. Some of the heroes can double jump, as you might have noticed there with the monk. Useful for getting up to high ledges. Here's where we can swap out to another hero in our larger deck. You'll see 2 versions of some heroes. That's because we can specialise a hero towards defense, as in his defensive towers, traps, auras, that kind of thing, or a DPS, a damage per second hero who will go and lay into the enemy themselves. Invariably the defensive towers, etc., are far more powerful at damaging the enemies than your average hero. So we're placing here, this is the Dryad. She was actually a hero that was added sometime later in the game's evolution when they partnered with the developers of that game, Terraria. So she's of the forest biome, and a great builder and melee character she is too. Here's our spooky, corrupted Gunwitch. She can kind of fly on a broom, but it does fall over time. You can't stay in the air with her. But she's a rifle carrier. She can't actually build any defences, so she's purely a DPS character. And she's pretty awesome at that. So she's got a gun there, a rifle. It's a semi-automatic machine gun. And one of the attributes of that rifle is when you see on the floor there those white flames. She's got an attribute of that gun that has a percentage chance of spreading frost fire, which is what you're seeing there, damages enemies and propagates. She's pretty mobile, she can get around pretty quick. I'm actually going to sell some of these defences because, like I say, I'm too overpowered. I wanted to give you guys a chance to actually see the enemies before they die. Each hero, at least by this late stage in my game, has a pet on their left shoulder. They do attack enemies, but only lightly, but they have a special ability and they do add buffs to the hero's attributes and or defensive towers, traps. So this knight, he's laid down a cannon and a big ass ballista. which does pierce enemies. And here I am not knowing what I'm doing again. Well, we can look at the spawn point and we see at the bottom there, that particular blue-faced enemy, that's actually like a boss character. He's got a special annoying defense in that nothing can harm him unless he's first been damaged by oil, drenched by water, etc. And this lady in the flame suit has that ability embedded in her bow, so if she shoots at him, that will probably oil him and render him vulnerable. She has an oil flash she can throw down, which slow down enemies. They also make them more susceptible to fire damage. Fiery Phoenix ability, she can launch at enemies, pierces, does a massive amount of damage. Her special abilities on the left, at the lower left there, have a cooldown, so when she throws them, launches them, you'll see 10-second cooldown. Here's the Drakenlord on his way, on the eastern lane. There he is, and what he does is, he's doubly bad, because what he does, he freezes your defences and your heroes if you get inside that aura he's emitting. But I've taken him out, no problem. So we've got 5 waves to do here, that was wave 2, so we're going to prep for wave 3. Back in the build phase, we're going to swap out this hero for the Abyss Lord. He has some nice defences, which I do use quite often. So start here with a Orc Blockade. Nice little animations on these defences in particular. Skeletal Archer back to back, you place them once and then you place again to confirm the orientation. And they are. And then here we'll place a Ramster. Quite narrow range but very effective at it penetrates and does damage to a massive swarm of enemies. Also has the a buff added which I've earned over time of fire damage. So it's especially effective in a later level where the enemies are frosty and resistant to all sorts of attack. Abyss Lord here, he can lay down temporary auras there and a spinning ghostly knight. He uses mana, but he drains that as he fires. There you go, I've just pinged, even though I'm the only one playing on the map. Clueless, that's what I am. Totally forgotten how to play this. It's been a few months. Here I'm blindly pointing at this Ramster and pressing buttons and doing all sorts of everything but the right thing, which I have a boost for the Ramster I can invoke if I press the right button, which I didn't. And that would temporarily boost his attack rate and extend the range of his attack. So the Dryad here, she has a mana based on those stars, but she can create those stars, she drops those herself. And her mana is exhausted when she uses those abilities on the left. But also she can transform into a corrupted form of herself, and that changes the abilities to different flavours of those things. In corrupt form, those are more damaging versions. And then she's rocking those nice sunglasses. She can lay down mushrooms there, which will slow down enemies that pass over them. And here's an enemy called a Goblin Siege Roller. The reason I've switched to Dryad is to tackle him. You can't damage him from the front, at least not very much. His weak point is at the back, and this Dryad has a nice, that red crystal. If I drop that on his rear, boom, he's gone. Got the Malthius mini-boss, and she casts spells and she raises skeletal enemies. They're hornets technically, but I think a lot of us in the gaming community call them bees. It's just quicker. So here's one of her traps. Explosive trap. And another is the poison dart tower. As the name suggests, will damage the enemy on impact, but it'll have a poison damage that continues over time. Repair our defences. We can upgrade our defences as well, so they have more hit points, more energy, and more damage. I don't need to do that here. You can just see that trap going off there. And you might be seeing this loot on the ground. The game is very much a grinder. Indeed, I have spent hours and hours and hours playing this to level up your character, get better and better loot. There are techniques I've learned over time on ways to progress more quickly. Many modes in the game, many maps, all in this beautiful cartoony style. A wide variety of enemies. Really challenging and interesting mechanics in some of the maps and modes. This here is just the basic. This in fact is just the second map in the campaign. There we have it, victory. That'll do it. There's loot to pick up, but we can go back to the cart area and there's a chest, reward chest, which will open. But that'll do it for today. If you like this video, please hit that like button down below and subscribe. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.